What is your name?
Tom Tison.
Tom Tison. All right. And what is your relationship to Hamilton Air Force Base?
I flew into Hamilton Air Force Base on a overnight navigation mission in my advanced flight training. I graduated from flight school class of 57K. So in that spring of 1957, we went on an overnight navigation mission from Vance Air Force Base in Enid, Oklahoma, where I was advanced flight school. And this is the first time I'd been on the West Coast, and enjoyed those little blue buses I'm trying to think how many. We were flying B-25s, multi-engine advanced flight school in 1957. And there must have been about, I don't know, 6 or 8 or so of us, our B-25s flying in. So there was quite a group of us, and we took those little blue buses into San Francisco for the evening and visited some apartments and homes in San Francisco and had a very nice time. So little did I know at the time that I would be moving to San Rafael, California. Now my wife and I have lived here for over 40 years. So that was my experience, first visit to Hamilton Air Force Base, flying in B-25.
Mm-hmm. What was your reaction when you first noticed that you were going to be going to Hamilton, when you first found that out?
Oh, I thought that was wonderful. Chance to visit San Francisco and visit the West Coast. Yeah, this was a real treat. This was a treat to fly into Hamilton from quite a difference from the San Francisco Bay to the windstorms and sands of Enid, Oklahoma, and the panhandle of Oklahoma.
And so, what was your main motivation for joining the Air Force? Well,
my father had been in the Army Air Corps during the war, and I had an opportunity to participate in Air Force ROTC in college. And so that's what I did, and one of the reasons I did that was that I wanted to complete college. At that time, I graduated in 1955. At that time, there was no selective service. Everyone served in the armed forces, and rather than being drafted out of college, which was quite likely, it made sense to me to join the Air Force ROTC, which I had the opportunity to do.
All right. So what years did you serve?
You know, I was on active duty for just 3 years. 1956, 1957, and 1958. Then I continued in the reserve until I was discharged in 1972. Interestingly, I decided I wanted to go to flight school, and the class after mine, the next class after 57K, the announcement was made. Some of those people were just starting flight school, and they didn't realize as they began that it was changed to a 5-year active duty commitment. It made a lot of sense. You're going to get your wings. You're going to be on active duty for at least 5 years, but the commitment for class 57K was 3 years. So I was on active duty for 3 years, then in the reserve until 72.
All right. Now, what was your rank in the Air Force?
Well, I was a first lieutenant. I was a combat-ready crew in the Strategic Air Command flying B-47s, and my rank was first lieutenant at that time. Then in the reserve, I was in active reserve, so when at the time I was discharged, my rank was captain.
Good. All right. Are there any interesting stories from your time at this base?
You know, we had a wonderful time. We enjoyed being here at Hamilton Field, and we enjoyed very much spending an evening in San Francisco, and it was an absolute delight, really. And I'm so glad to be able to visit this museum. I think this is just a wonderful, wonderful museum, and really fun to see all the exhibits, including the Link trainer that I learned my instrument flying in back then. Great museum.
Thank you. All right, to conclude this interview, do you have any final comments?
Just to thank you very much for putting this beautiful museum together. Enjoy the opportunity to be able to contribute a little story. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for the interview.
Okay, Chase.
Wings over the Navy, wings over the sea. We're top of the service, the Navy's cavalry. Fly over the ocean, flying wide and free. The soldiers, sailors, and marines are demons at finishing all the scenes or posing in the magazines. But with the Navy's eyes, the Admiral's fireflies were high sky riding aeronautical guys. Wings over the Navy, sailing the